Autobots, transform, and I can't do this anymore. At this point, I just give up. Hey guys, Ultra Maximus here with a 3D Blu-ray review, and I want to kick myself in the head because I thought I had done this, and I hadn't. Does that mean I do too many YouTube videos? Probably, yeah. I was sitting there thinking about this today. I was thinking about, okay, I got some new Blu-rays I got to go through and watch and do some reviews on, and it occurred to me that I had never done a review on the Transformers Dark of the Moon 3D Blu-ray disc. So, sorry. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Transformers Dark of the Moon Blu-ray 3D. So this is the 3D set that was out, still out, I'm presuming. I paid $34.99 for this at Best Buy, and I waited. They put the Blu-ray edition out after the film had come out, and I was kind of peeved about that because they didn't put a 3D out right away. And I did not get that because, well, I wanted to wait for this because I knew it was coming, and there were no special features on that disc, and I thought, well, that's a bunch of crap. So I didn't even bother with that movie, and it was a regular price for a Blu-ray. If it was like $15 with no features on it, I probably would have bought it until this came out, but it wasn't, so, you know, screw you guys. I'm not going to do that. So I waited, and it actually took a while for this to come out, if I remember right. It took quite a bit of time for this to come out, and I don't know what the deal was that they were trying to do. I think Michael Bay talked about he was trying to get the 3D right for the televisions or whatnot or whatever. He's full of excuses, so. But this is it. It says it's a great value. It's a 4-disc set. It comes with our Blu-ray 3D, the Blu-ray, a DVD copy, a digital copy, and it's got a bonus disc with a bunch of stuff on it, which it didn't have any trailers on it, I don't think, which really sucked. And of course, it's got the ultraviolet, instantly streaming digital copy. And does anybody use that? I don't use the digital copies. I don't care about the digital copies. I couldn't give two toots less. Do you use it? Comment if you use it, because I sure as hell don't use the thing. It's a pretty thick box set. Here's the back of it. This is what it looks like. Kind of tells you what's on all the different stuff. And hey, remember, you gotta have glasses and a TV and a Blu-ray 3D player to play this disc and all that kind of good jazz. Jazz, huh? Get it? Yeah, Transformers. And this is outside the case. Of course, it's a limited edition 3D. And I do like the cover. It's got a really cool looking picture of Optimus Prime on it with Chicago being destroyed in the background. And of course, the backside's exactly the same. Inside, we have, this is the Blu-ray disc copy, our ultraviolet digital copy there. The Blu-ray special features, the 3D feature film copy, and lastly, we've got the DVD standard copy. So, here's the disc, and we'll talk about the movie, talk about 3D, obviously, that kind of stuff, all that kind of stuff, and of course, the disc, or the box piece here, does the really cool 3D thing. When you spin it, a little 3D effect cover that they've been around since the 80s. What the other nice thing is, on the cover here, the Transformers verbiage is actually this up here. You can kind of see it. It's raised and it's silver. That's kind of cool. And then the Dark of the Moon is kind of inset in that plastic. So that's actually rather cool looking. Typical price, like I said, $35 Best Buy. Nothing huge. Now, I have noticed at Best Buy, they have not had this in stock for a while. So this sold pretty quickly here in the Indianapolis area. You don't see too many copies of it laying around. I'm sure come Christmas time, we'll have tons more of this come back around. But it was definitely a very quick, very hot pickup when it came out, much delayed. So, to talk about this movie, this is a real pile of shit. I gotta say, it's story wise, it's very clumsily put together. I mean, the premise is okay. It's a good idea from the start, but it's just poorly executed. It's just another example of why Michael Bay should not be doing these movies. I'm over Michael Bay with the films. He's had 3 of them. That's fine. You know what? I'm ecstatic that he actually put the thing on the screen in live action, and there are some really cool scenes in the movies, including this one. There's some good scenes in it, but overall, I'm done with the Bayformers. Let's get somebody else. Let's get a new writing team. Let's get a new director. Let's get a new perspective. Unfortunately, Paramount's already pushing for him to do a 4th one, so we'll see where that goes. Hopefully, we get somebody new with it. Um, I'm the Michael Bay trilogy's done. Let's finish this and let's move on. Let's do something else. Take a hint from Warner Brothers. Find a new director for your movies. So, what is this movie about? Oh gosh, it's kind of hard to say. Basically, Megatron's been beaten from Revenge of the Fallen, and he's some weird, cryptic, outlawed Josie Wales looking robot out in the vasts of Africa, hiding out. And the whole point of this film is that it kind of ties back. The beginning of it ties back to the first one with the Mars rover and the whole little teaser shot that the little rover sees the robot come and smash it, which is pretty cool. It kind of goes back to 1969 and the race to get to the moon. And the real reason why we went to the moon was not because of space exploration, but it was because we've figured out that there was an alien ship had landed. It was on the dark side of the moon or close to it. So when the moon spun around, then they could, when it was out of range, the astronauts had time to go in and investigate and find and all that kind of stuff. And they find the Ark, the Autobot Ark, which is nice that they kind of put that in, so we get our different artifacts from the different movies. Like in the last one, we had the Matrix. The first one, they made it up. It was the Allspark and the Cube, and they bring the Ark into it and all that kind of good stuff. And the space bridge technology is what this whole movie's about. And the Autobots go back up, and they find Sentinel Prime, which I like how they bring that character into it. And Sentinel Prime is voiced by none other than Leonard Nimoy, which is fantastic, because there's a great interview that Michael Bay is talking about that he's actually his wife's cousin, I think. I think that's the relationship. So he asks, Leonard if he would come and do voice in the film, and he's like, yeah, I'd love to come back to do the Transformers again. And he's like, excuse me, and obviously he was the voice of Galvatron in the 1986 animated feature film, which was a better film, by the way, than all the other Michael Bay films put together. And so he comes back and he does the voice of Sentinel Prime. Turns out he becomes the big bad guy. He's betraying, he's doing what he feels is right for all of Cybertron, and ends up betraying Optimus Prime. And there's some really great Star Trek jokes in there. There's an episode where Spock is on the TV at the beginning of an episode of Star Trek, and he uses a few of the Star Trek lines in the film, like he uses, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, and there's some really good gags in there for that. And he really, he does the voice of Galvatron for Sentinel Prime, which is kind of cool, especially towards the end. He starts getting real aggressive, and he just flat out sounds like Galvatron, which is outstandingly awesome when he's fighting Optimus Prime. So that was really, really cool. But I got to tell you, the best thing I liked about this movie was So yeah, that's pretty good. Guys, yeah, that's pretty good. So Megan Fox decided she didn't want to do it because she's a bitch and doesn't get along with Michael Bay because apparently he's a dick, and obviously two big egos cannot work together. So they scrapped her and went with Rosie, and that's fine, hot chick, whatever. It just there are certain things about the film that really annoy me. It's very inconsistent in the storytelling. All of a sudden they're here doing this, then they're doing this, and it's not threaded very well together. And I don't think that's the fault of the writers. I really think that's the fault of Michael Bay and the editing crew that put this film together. It feels really sloppily done. Now, other things I have issues with in this film. Number one, Optimus Prime just seems overly aggressive, especially towards the end, and he just like wiping everybody out, and he's just way too violent. He's almost psychotic in this movie, and I'm not digging that. He's the ultimate leader, the ultimate hero kind of guy, and that's not coming off in this. He's just too over brazenly violent, trying to make him the big badass, and it's not working for me. Other issues I had in the film: why did they call Dino Dino? Why wasn't he called Mirage like he was supposed to be called? I don't understand that. Dino, friggin' dinosaur's name. What? Whatever. We didn't even get a good toy out of that character. That would have been a Ferrari. Would have been a great deluxe. A Human Alliance set would have been awesome. Instead, we get a bunch of crap that we've had from the past two films that are still. It is now, what, the end of May, right? No, it is June 1st, ladies and gentlemen. June 1st of 2012, and we still have Dark of the Moon peg warmers sitting on the shelves at the stores, wasting space, and no Transformer Prime toys. Ugh, terrible, terrible stuff. And we didn't get a Soundwave figure, which was just terrible. And that's another character that irritated me in this film. He starts off so awesome. I mean, he comes around, Laserbeak, who was a great character. I loved Laserbeak, and, Laserbeak reports, and he does the Soundwave thing, and Megatron basically says, hey, you've done a good job, now go basically kill all your little helpers, and Soundwave throws him off. He's like, kill them all, and I'm like, that's awesome, that's Soundwave, even though he sounds like Dr. Claw. That's beside the point. And then at the end of the film, he just turns into this chuckling buffoon, and it just totally ruins that character, which I really, really hated. We do see Barricade come back, which was kind of nice. He ends up getting slaughtered. We meet Shockwave, who does absolutely nothing in this film. You could remove Shockwave out of this film altogether, and it would not change the film. Very disappointing. He doesn't even transform in this movie. The last one, we had Soundwave, and he's alt mode the whole time, and this time we've got Shockwave in his robot mode the whole time. Never transforms, and he rides around in a giant worm. What? I don't get it. So, yeah, some really, really junk things going on. And the other thing I had an issue, I love the fact Optimus Prime gets his trailer. Looks awesome. Fantastic. I've got the Ultimate Optimus Prime toy with the trailer. Looks fantastic, phenomenal. That's great. Problem is, it turns into another jetpack. We got that in Dark of the Moon when Jetfire combines with Prime. Why didn't they turn it into armor, like the Apex armor or something from Power Masters? That would have been phenomenal. But no, that's not what we get. We get a rehash of the last crap that we had. Other issues I have, Megatron. What the hell happened to Megatron? Why is he so crappy? He basically turns into Starscream in the second one to the Fallen, and he's a little worm running around listening to the Fallen. The Fallen gets killed, Megatron gets beat. He basically sulks in Africa here in this third one. He revives Sentinel Prime so he can get the space bridge going, And then he pretty much succumbs to Sentinel Prime at the end of the film, and he's just sitting on the ground sulking again. I'm like, what the hell happened to Megatron? It's just annoying stuff. So, aside from all that crap, it's a big action fest, lots of things going on. Take a look at some of my favorite scenes. There are a couple scenes that I really did like, so it's not all bad, but there are some scenes I really did like. Let's take a look at those now. Okay, this is probably one of my favorite scenes. The parents show back up, and we see what he's driving now.
What happened to Bumblebee? He's off on his mission. I had to get this back. Your car has a job, huh? What does it change into? It doesn't change into anything. It's a collector's item. I got it for steel. It just needs some work. Trust me. No, I think it's darling. It reminds me a lot of Bumblebee. Bumblebee weren't a sad piece of shit.
Absolute great. The parents, probably some of the best things in the entire movie trilogy. Now, this scene, where we get to see Optimus versus Shockwave for the first time, looks excellent in 3D. We get the trailer, Prime rolling by. This whole scene is just great. Good fun. Again, just a really good scene in 3D. This is another one of my favorite scenes. We get to meet Laserbeak for the first time. Again, fantastic shot in 3D. This is another one of my favorite scenes in the movie.
Excuse me, gentlemen. May I ask, what is this technology you're looking for?
It is the ability to reshape the universe. Together the pillars form a space bridge. I designed, and I alone can control it. It defies your laws of physics to transport matter through time and space.
You're talking about a teleportation device, aren't you?
Yes, for resources, for refugees.
Refugees, or troops of soldiers, weapons, maybe bombs. A means of innocent strike. That's its military function, isn't it?
It is our technology, and it must be returned.
If humans say so, you can't just bring weapons of mass destruction into our atmosphere. Kind of have to clear customs first. A little formality for paperwork, kind of separate this from the animals.
I will overlook your condescending tone. If you heed the gravity of mine, the Decepticons must not allow the space bridges here, for in their hands, it would mean the end of your world.
Very nice. Kind of shows you the authority of Sentinel Prime. Now, this is a very odd scene, again, with Megatron. The 3D looks really nice here out on the African plains. Nice shot of Megatron transforming. Sarcasm going on there. And then we get to see Soundwave looking very cool. No clue who that guy is.
Being what you were told, which is nothing.
Not sure what that means.
Some weird reporting, and what?
Very awesome shot of Soundwave.
You did me great honor tracking that ship to the moon. Your human collaborators have served their purpose, Soundwave. It's time to eliminate loose ends.
Very cool shot. This is another really good shot in 3D. Especially when the attack comes up, it just looks really cool.
One of these you got. I always get what I want, Sam. We just needed to be sure. Sure of what? That they would know we're gonna fight.
Again, just looks amazing in 3D. Starscream coming down. This is probably one of my favorite scenes in 3D in the movie, where the Decepticons come and just devastate Chicago. Absolutely awesome in 3D. Okay, so as far as the 3D goes in this DVD, the Blu Ray disc, BD, whatever you want to call it, they did a good job with the 3D. I will admit to that. I did like the 3D in the film. I saw this at the IMAX 3D when it came out, and it was very impressive. The crew that did the 3D on this film was the same crew James Cameron had on Avatar, so they know what they're doing, and it looked really, really good. The scenes where the spaceships, the Decepticon ships are flying in over Chicago looks really nice. Some of the battle scenes when they're fighting, phenomenal, looks really good. The scenes where Prime's flying his little jet, that actually does look very, very good. Starscream coming down and shooting the Axelon or whatever, not the Axelon, I forget what they call the Autobot ship that the Wreckers take up and they blow up. That scene looks really, really nice. And all in all, the 3D looks very well. It helps this film a lot. This is nothing but popcorn action, random dialogue. There are a handful of really cool scenes. Probably, like I said, some of my favorite scenes include the parents, when the parents first show up. I love the scene with Buzz, where they introduce Optimus Prime and kind of debrief Optimus. Those scenes are just some of the better spots in the film, and they don't involve the big 3D in the action. So it's when they're going out and, you know, fighting. The scene where, you know, Bumblebee and Dino, and they're on the road and they're fighting the Decepticons. That's really, really nice. Very cool stuff. When the Decepticons space bridge from the moon to the Earth and all the Decepticons take off, those scenes are all great. Love them. Look good. Very cool in 3D. So, overall, It is not my favorite of the Transformers films. What I do like about it, it is in 3D. It looks good in 3D. It's a fun watch in 3D if you're not trying to pay attention to the movie too much. Now, is this a good movie for kids? No. I'm going to say no, because it's very violent. It's sexually graphic in some spots, very suggestive, or suggestive. It's a little too adult for kids. If your kid is under 13, I would not let them watch it. In fact, I think this is it PG-13? Yes, PG-13 for intense, prolonged sequences of science fiction, action, and violence, mayhem and destruction, and language, some sexual and innuendo. Is exactly right. If your kid is under 13, I would not let them watch this movie. And that's pretty bad, because the second movie I thought was bad with the twins and their language, and this is even worse. They're pushing the envelope with it, and which is really funny for a guy to say, and I tend to like the more adult-oriented type of stuff. So, but it's the Transformers. There's a certain property thing there where I think this should be available to every generation of fan, and every generation of fans should be able to enjoy it without any kind of worries. And they really push it with this movie. So, kid-friendly? No. I would say no. 3D fun? Absolutely. Is it a must-have for your 3D DVD collection? Yes, I would want this in my 3D collection, because it's giant fighting robots from space, it's Transformers, it's in 3D, and that's pretty cool unto itself. Is it worth the $35? I'd rather pay $25 for this movie, to be honest. And hopefully we see prices go down on it. Maybe this Christmas we'll see it $5 or $10 cheaper. But right now as it stands, it's $35. Yes, I'd pay the $35 for it. I would not let my 12-year-old kid watch this, that's for sure. But it is what it is. So hopefully we get something different in the next one. I am glad they did do this one in 3D. It was fun to watch in 3D. It's kind of hard to follow. It's not the greatest in the trilogy, but at least it's in 3D. And that's pretty bad when you have to keep going back to that over and over and over. At least it's in 3D. And that's one of the few things that really saves this movie. So, thanks for watching, guys. Keep a lookout for more videos. And hopefully Michael Bay doesn't do number 4. We get somebody else. Let's get a fresh take. Let's get somebody that's going to put robots that don't look like big insects. Let's get some good story. Let's do something that's age appropriate, that's fan friendly across the board, and hopefully we keep doing these in 3D. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you later.